Take the exit, then turn left onto Daggett Yermo Road.
Turn left.
It turned right.
Tell you what, you just haven't lived until you've eaten alien jerky. Howdy, partners.
Really?
We are in Calico, the old ghost mining town. Dates back to 1881. Purchased by Walter Knott. In the 1950s, he restored it as an old ghost town. We'll take you on a tour of it right now. Calico wouldn't be the restored ghost town that it is today were it not for Walter Knott, the man who gave us Knott's Berry Farm in Buena Park. This marker greeting visitors at Calico pays tribute to his efforts to recreate the former mining boomtown. After Knott built his ghost town theme park, he looked to revive Calico. One day he jumped in a car with son Russell Knott and Knott's Berry Farm art director Paul von Kleben and journeyed to the ghost town, which at that time was owned by Zenda Mining Company. Immediately their heads were swimming with ideas to restore Calico as a ghost town. In 1951, Walter Knott purchased the entire town site from Zenda and put von Kleben in charge of restoring it to its original condition, using old photographs as well as Walter's memory and that of some old-timers who still lived in the area. Von Kleben was able to not only restore existing structures, but also design and replace missing buildings. Mr. Knott spent about $700,000 to restore Calico, only to gift it to San Bernardino County for a regional park in 1966. To commemorate his efforts, the county then commissioned this bust of Walter Knott. Knott had a personal interest in Calico for several reasons. The biggest mine here, the Silver King Mine, was named after an uncle by marriage. He was also interested in ghost towns when he lived in nearby Newberry Springs. Right there, the signature of Walter Knott. And a plaque here stating that Calico was founded in 1881, produced $86 million in silver, restored by Walter Knott 1950, historical markings and dedication by the native sons of the Golden West, November 25th, 1961. Calico Woodworks. Listen to that music. In 1881, 4 prospectors struck out from present-day Barstow to a mountain peak to the northeast in search of riches. They camped there, observing its calico-covered soils, and soon discovered silver and opened the Silver King Mine, California's largest silver producer in the 1880s. The mine was named for John C. King, who had grub-staked the prospectors. King was the sheriff of San Bernardino County from 1879 to 1882. One nephew of King's was Walter Knott, who would resurrect Calico decades later. By 1882, Calico had a post office and a weekly newspaper. The town boasted 3 hotels, 5 general stores, a meat market, saloons, brothels, 3 restaurants, and boarding houses. There was also a Wells Fargo office and a telephone and telegraph service. If you visit Calico today, you'll find that it's replete with gift shops which sell clothing, gifts, and knickknacks.
Adult-sized. Flirting with the mannequins.
Ask him how he's doing.
Really? How you doing?
You're getting fresh
How
with
you
my woman, aren't you?
How your mama doing?
I'm doing fine. Now this firehouse has a fire engine in it that kind of reminds me of the one that's in Columbia, California, State Historic Park. This fire engine was actually never used in Calico and came here in 1963. It was used to fight fires in Los Angeles from 1889 to 1918. By the 1930s, the last sole survivors of Calico, once a town of 3,000 inhabitants, were John and Lucy Lane. John Lane came to Calico in 1884, where he met Lucy, who became known as the Queen of Calico. They lived in this building, which doubled as a house and a store, and which is now a museum. Her father was a miner by the name of George Valentine King, who was drawn to Calico when he heard of a silver strike, the largest in the state's history. John died in 1934, and Lucy Bell Lane joined him in 1969. They were both buried in the cemetery in Hemet, California. Lane House and Museum. Lane General Merchandise. This looks like an old historic couch.
Here's a historic picture.
That's kind of what Calico looked like way back.
What the heck is that?
Does anybody know what that is? I don't know.
It's scary.
You sit on it. There's your grandma's stove right there. That looks like a heater of some sort. Maybe put coal in it or something? Well, folks, I had to lock her up because she was misbehaving here in Calico. She looks pretty happy though. What did you do to be in there?
I'm just too cool for school.
The way it used to be. We're gonna see how things used to be. Oh my.
He seems disgusted, huh?
He's got an issue here. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, it's a dentist. He removed the wrong tooth.
Oh, dang. What is she doing? Home sweet home. Most people of Calico, the miners, merchants, and their families were hardworking, stable folk, proud of the law and order, usually absent in a boomtown. Here are the ordinary items of home and life used by the ordinary folk who were the heart of Calico. Okay, well, that's the way it used to be, folks. A lot of hard work. Antique school desk.
Makes me think of Rumpelstiltskin.
What makes you think of Rumpelstiltskin?
The spinning wheel?
Ah.
Splinter in your butt. Sliding in that the wrong way.
The wooden bathtub. This reminds you of Virginia City, not Knott's Berry Farm?
Yeah. Virginia City before it became the big tourist attraction that sells a bunch of junk.
Check out the fresh popcorn wagon.
Yeah, I told him.
A lot of people here today, so that's what you're hearing. Employees only, I guess. We're gonna see if we can make our way over to the old schoolhouse. It's like Laura Ingalls Wilder had to go this way. Just kidding. A little rocky way over here. Let's see what this says about it. Calico School was elected in 1885. This is the original location, completed in 1955, the restoration. There's the inside. Typical schoolhouse from that period. It says what you're seeing here is a replica built in the early 1950s. I guess they used old photographs and tried to match the architecture as well as they could. First school operated out of a boarding house until the new school was built.
Little green rocks. Why are they green?
Could be copper, I don't know.
Look at that green.
Huh. It might be copper. Look out of this hole here, out of these mines. There were like 500 mines back in the day. Over $86 million in silver was taken out of here. Yeah, there's some green rock in that canyon over there. It might be copper, who knows? We don't know if that's copper or what, but that's possible.
Look at this one, has some of that rusty looking color in it. But look how green they are.
Yeah. What is it?
Well, it has some of this green and a bunch of red and some sparklies in it.
You gonna take them?
Do I know what it is? I don't know, but look how red it is.
At its zenith of 1883 to 1885, Calico had over 500 mines and was home to 1,200 residents. Adding to Calico's fortunes was the discovery of the borate mineral colemanite in the mountains nearby. By 1890, Calico had a population of about 3,500 residents, drawing immigrant miners from England, China, Ireland, Greece, and France.
Some of it, like the different color of that, and then the green and white speckles.
Sarah's gonna perform for us.
Thank you. Come again.
We're going up here to this area where there's some recreations of miners' cabins. This would be a good shelter against the wind. Holy cow, it's windy today. There's somebody inside. Let's let our viewers check it out.
What's the guy that's in jail at?
Oh, Sad-Eyed Joe.
Yeah, no, Sad-Eyed Joe.
Well, maybe we'll find him. It's like some leaks there. I think that's the haunted house where they had the whole thing kind of at an angle where you walk in there and you feel disoriented. A little Calico trickery here. An old box to hide either a like gas main or water main. Here's an overview of the town, and there's that bottle house down there.
No getting out of this building in a hurry unless you want to break your ankle.
What is it?
I don't know.
It's a rock house. Let's see if we can look inside. Well, that's pretty cool though. It's an example of American ingenuity. You built a house out of whatever resources you had. This built out of rock. So as you know, miners drank a lot. They had so many bottles, they didn't know what to do with them. So building materials being kind of scarce up here, the wood for houses was scarce. They decided to make houses out of bottles.
It's called the other side.
What do you think of the bottle house?
Calico. They spelled Calico in the... Wait a minute.
Yeah, they did.
But, so this is a recreation, not an original?
Probably.
I was going to say, because would they really have thought of that?
How did they develop it?
There's the inside of the bottle house. The bottles sticking out. It's kind of weird. Doesn't have a nose.
Lost it in the mine.
This sure looks like ruins of an old building that they didn't restore. You can see the material they used is basically mud and rock. Couple rooms in here. It was a dank, dark place. Of course, there's some windows here. Sure, the elements have really ruined this. And you can see evidence right here of the wood. I don't know what they would have done right here. Maybe a shelf or something. Back bedroom here. And here this sign kind of tells us what this was. It was Chinatown. Chinese miners worked here.
Can I to get my back scrubbed. Says 5 cents.
Chinese bathtub, back scrub 5 cents, full scrub 10 cents.
Full scrub.
Yeah.
All the nooks and crannies.
Try it for size, it says. Yeah. Just need to add some boiling water to it.
That'd be hot. This is metal.
Yep. I have to show you this right here. It tells us to keep out because it's a gassy tunnel. Is it really? Calico's demise was triggered by the Silver Purchase Act of 1890, which drove the price of silver into the ground. By 1896, silver had dropped to 57 cents per ounce, and Calico's mines were no longer economically viable. The post office closed in 1898, and the school closed not long after that. By the turn of the century, Calico was all but a ghost town, and with the end of borax mining in the region in 1907, the town was abandoned. Many of Calico's original buildings were moved to Barstow, Daggett, and Yerbo. An attempt was made in 1915 to revive Calico when a cyanide plant was built to recover silver from the unprocessed Silver King Mines deposits. One of those who helped build the redwood cyanide tanks for the cyanide plant was Walter Knott, who was homesteading at Newberry Springs with his wife Cordelia. The cemetery has been so ravaged by vandals in time we aren't sure how many are actually buried here, or who is buried here. Some estimates say 160 graves. Among those buried here is Eva Cochran and her brother Bruce, who died in Calico during an 1888 diphtheria epidemic. Their wooden grave markers are so old and weather-worn that they can't be read. Another buried here was Albert Rolland, a 25-year-old mining broker from Los Angeles who was in Calico on business when he was shot to death in a fight over a card game inside the Dickerson and Mosley Saloon. His death came early morning on May 17, 1896. Edward Scholar was sentenced to spend 7 years in San Quentin prison for the murder. Well, I think that's going to do it today. I don't know what to tell you. If you should come here yourself, it's kind of interesting, but it's also very touristy. But we learned a few things about this place. Thank you for joining us on this episode of History Hunters. Calico were both vying for the title of state mine city or something like that. Well, they designated Bodie the gold city, and they also designated this as the state silver city. $86 million in silver taken out of here. I'm going to show you this park here, this episode of History Hunters.
That was terrible.
That was bad.
Did you even get him in the background?